Alrighty, guys. I'm probably not going to make it to New Year's, but it is like 11 o'clock, and whether I'll make it another hour, I don't know. So if I don't make it, I'm just saying right now, Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year, man. Tomorrow is going to be a brand new day for everybody, a brand new year for all of us. So, think positive. But, for my last video of the year, because tonight I've been kind of telling stories in my videos that I posted tonight. I've been kind of telling stories. So I'm going to tell the biggest one yet. And I may have talked about this in a past video. I'm sure I have. But I haven't talked about it for a while. So let me tell the story. It was going to be I was riding a bike again, and I was going to try to repeat I had ridden a bicycle already from Fort Myers, Florida to Bryan, Ohio, and I was going to repeat it. I was going to go do it again. And, I have a reason to go to Bryan, Ohio. We'll talk about that later. Well, I was doing great, man. I was making really good time, man. I had gotten all the way across Florida in like 3 days, man, and I was about 20 miles south of Tallahassee, which is the state capital of Florida. And, I just had a really good trip. I made really good time. The wind had been at my back the whole time. And, the trip was being awesome. I was kicking ass, and I'm like, man, we might even beat our record from the last time we did this, But I got about 20 miles. I was about 20 miles south of Tallahassee. And this is why I don't ride at night too much anymore, because this happened to me late at night, around midnight or so. Riding along, doing good. I'm on Highway 19, which is one of my favorite corridors to ride to get in and out of Florida. And I'm about 20 miles south of Tallahassee, and I'm riding along. I got my Pandora going on. We're listening to Led Zeppelin. Everything's great. And then, pow! Man, this fucking college kid, this girl, hit me with a Volkswagen. The mirror got me right in the ass, man, and it tore the bicycle apart. But the bicycle pretty much took the brunt, of the impact. It was kind of like Theodore in the side pocket, pow, because it launched me from the bicycle. The bicycle got ripped to shreds. It went under the car and everything, but my body got launched out into the Everglades, or into a swamp, whatever. I was in the air for so long that I had 3 whole thoughts go through my head. And the first thought that went through my head is like, son of a bitch, I just got hit by a car. And then the second thought that went through my head was wow, look how pretty the stars are here tonight, because, I was like this, I was, facing up into the sky so I could see all the stars. And then the last thought that went through my head is, oh crap, this is going to hurt. And then bam, I hit the ground. And I laid there for, not real long, but, long enough, I'm like, all right, we're alive. We're probably in shock. Let's start feeling ourselves for bones sticking out, But I started feeling my legs and my arms and, my head, no bones sticking out. No bones sticking out. And I'm like, all right, we survived it. So I turn around and of course, Highway 19, 20 miles south of Tallahassee is pretty much the middle of nowhere. It's the middle of nowhere. Swamp, And, I look back towards the highway and I can see my bicycle in many pieces, but I see my backpack. I did have a backpack at the time. Let's crawl for that. Because I didn't want to stand up you know, in case I was really, you know, did have broken legs and just in shock and not, you know. So I crawled, you know, and I get to the backpack and I dig into it and I get out the phone. I get out my flip phone because it's, you know, it's before smartphones. And, you know, I call 911. You know, like, hey, I just got hit by a car. Where are you at? I'm like, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I'm not far from Tallahassee. Then she's like, just stay on the line, sir. I'm like, yeah, no problem. You know, she's like, all right, you need an ambulance. I'm like, yeah, probably. You know, I mean, I'm alive, I'm breathing. You know, and she's like, all right, we got you. You know, they triangulated me that fast. All right, she said, help's on the way, and I'm like, all right, thank you, ma'am. You know, she's, you know, I don't know if we stayed. I don't think we stayed on the line or anything. She said, they're on their way. And I'm like, thank you. The first people to pull up to me was this elderly couple. And, you know, they had seen what happened. And they turned around and came back. And like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I think I'll be all right. You know, you know. And, like, they were like, you know, we really don't want to get involved in this. And I'm like, it's okay. You know, I'm fine. And as I was talking with these elderly couple, the girl that hit me, she actually turned around, came back. She was a college girl from Tallahassee. She was going to college there in Tallahassee. You know, they got a big college there. It's Florida University, you know. And she actually turned around and came back, man. She did. And she felt terrible. She did. I felt worse for her than she felt for me, you know. You know, Mister, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's all right, baby. I'm all right, man. I'm all right, you know. And, you know, hey, I tell you, I got the kick of the century out of that. You know, the old couple, they took off, you know. I'm like, that's fine. And, of course, the girl, she stayed, whatever, you know, because she did hit me with a car. But the whole time she was standing there, I could see up her skirt, you know, and I was seeing that, you know, co-ed panties, you know, and I'm like, man, you could run me over anytime, girl, you know, and I kept telling her, you know, it's all right, man, you know, it's all right, you know, just stand right where you're at, you know, and you'll be fine, you know. I never sued her. I didn't, you know. I would wind up going into Tallahassee over a lawsuit, and I'll keep the story short. I wind up going to the hospital that night. So this ambulance showed. The Three Stooges show up in an ambulance, and I need to write this down in a book. I really do. Well, they take me to the hospital because there's a point to the story. There's a point to it. I never sued the girl. I didn't sue the Three Stooges that shoved me into this ambulance and took me to the, I guess, you know, whatever hospital was near there. And they take me into the hospital. Of course, you know, from the top of my ass. Hang on a minute, there's a train coming. Hold on a minute. It's the Bright Line, so it'll go by quick. So they take me to the hospital. Of course, the bicycle was destroyed. It was destroyed. But they take me to the hospital. And from the top of my ass all the way down to my ankle on my left leg, I mean, it was just black and blue, man. And my left hand, you know, there was damage there too in my shoulder. And so, you know, the doctor said, you know, I want x-rays, all of that. You know, and they wheeled me into the x-ray department, whatever you call that, and took all these x-rays, and then they brought me back to the, you know, where they had me parked, whatever. And a little while later, the doctor, I'm fixing to blow your minds here, the doctor walks in and she has only one x-ray of all the x-rays they took, because they took like a dozen of them, but she only had one, and it was the one of my hand. And she hands me the x-ray and says, "Can you explain this to me, Mr. Asta?" And she grabs my hand and she's just, almost twisting my wrist, She says, "Sir, you have a piece of metal in your hand. And how did it get in there? Because there's no entry wound, there's no scar, there's no damage. How did that piece of metal get in there?" And it's right up on the bone. It's right up on my pinky finger bone. It's shaped like a triangle. And of course, I already knew of this phenomenon because of YouTube, because I watched too much YouTube. But when I saw it, when I saw the x-ray and the way that this doctor was, the way this doctor was, holding my hand and like couldn't figure it out. And I knew what it was. I knew what it was as soon as I saw it. And I handed her the x-ray back and I said, "Ma'am, it's an alien implant." Of course, this dumbfounded her. I mean, she was like, "What?" I said, "Go to YouTube, look up alien implants, and you'll know exactly what it is." I'm tagged like a dolphin, I'm tagged. There's some kind of species out there that has an interest in me, and I don't know what they are. And I'm not saying they're from fucking outer space either. Who knows where these things come from? But they do exist. I've written books about them. That's why we're going to Missouri. All right, guys, that's my New Year's video. Yeah, old Theodore got an alien implant stuck in his ass. People, I've told this to people before, and they're like, "Why don't you get it removed?" And I'm like, no. If I get that thing cut out of my hand, who knows will be the next place they stick it. You know what I mean? Alien implants, if you ever go to YouTube and or any kind of Google it, whatever, most people that have claimed this, having alien implants, they all tell a story about, being abducted by aliens, and that's how they knew that they had an implant. And, well, I can't tell a story. I have no recollection of ever being abducted by an alien. I have no recollection of that. I've woken up in a few spots in my life like, how the fuck did I get here? But I'm pretty much going to count alcohol on that one, as to I didn't know why I woke up in a particular place. I'm going to definitely say it was alcohol. I have no recollection of ever being abducted by aliens or anything like that, but yet there it is in the palm of my hand. And I wonder, it makes me wonder how many of us might have this, And is it really an alien implant? Or is my imagination running wild here, Really, the only way to find out would really be to have it removed and see what it actually is. It is shaped like a triangle. It fits all the parameters of an alien implant. It does. So who's watching me, and why would they? Can't really blame them. I'm kind of bizarre. I'm very nomadic. I follow the weather like the birds. I'm no different than a mallard, going to the north in the summer, come back in the south in the winter, A lot of animals do that. And I'm an animal, I don't know, guys. That's my last video of the day. Happy New Year. Keep subscribing, keep viewing, keep making my day, guys. If you like what I'm talking about, if you have any comments about it, make a comment. Tell me. There's so many things that even though as old and wise as I am, there are still a lot of unanswered questions. A lot of unanswered questions that I just don't have an answer for. but I would like to know. All right, guys, God bless your hearts. Call your mom, tell you love her, hug the person this side and that side, in the front of you, in the back of you, just love everybody. And I will talk to y'all next year.